Today, it feels very heavy, and not in a bad way, but in a sense of the past couple of months, you have been going through a lot of different things with realizing who you are and what makes you who you are. And it can be overwhelming to realize, once you see who you really are, it can be overwhelming realizing that you haven't been standing true to yourself. And this song popped up, and if you're one of those where you liked the 80s dance songs, it's Take Me in Your Arms by Lil Suzy. And she says, take me in your arms, and don't you let me go. I had to sing it so that you knew what song I was talking about. I'm not a singer. I need you more and more. Your love is all I ever need. You're my destiny. This love was meant to be. We'll find a paradise for two, a place for me and you. We'll make our dreams come true. This is not a love reading of somebody expressing this towards you. This is not you expressing this towards somebody. This is you expressing to yourself at this point. You have found purity. And it's almost like, finally, that's how it feels. Finally, I found purity. And you found purity within who you are. I'm trying to stand it up here because it won't stand up. You came and turned and looked my way. What else can I say? Love was in my eyes. You came and made my life complete with your love so sweet. You gave your love to me. This is literally the reason it is so heavy right now, is because you're facing the fact of how long you've been going without being your true self. And many different aspects of your life played a part in making that be that way. But there's no need to sit and feel sad about it. That's why it's heavy right now, because you do feel sad about it. You do feel sad. I saw this before. I wanted to see if it was going to come out again. By you healing what you're healing, you are opening the door of opportunity of offerings to yourself. And I truly believe you cannot help anybody that you care about if you are not in a good place yourself. You can't fully commit to that, and that's important to you. You want to be that person that's there for others, that can heal others, that can help others. And you definitely cannot fully commit to that when you yourself are confused with what you are committed to within yourself. Completion. A very big cycle of change for you has been completed because of the healing work that you've been doing. And it's going to bring a lot of joy. But today specifically, it has this overwhelming feeling upon you because of the fact of finally seeing, like, now you're starting to think like, oh my God, I literally have gone pretty much my whole life up until this point not fully being myself. And then the last couple of years you were working towards yourself more. But now the reality of the fact that you were walking this earth and either being afraid to, or it was other people around you that were keeping you within the shell of being yourself, that's not something you need to burden yourself upon. Definitely rest your mind, even your body. If it's just a relaxed day, let it be a relaxed day. If your body feels exhausted mentally, physically, that's your body telling you it's time to rest, because that's the only way you're going to keep balance. It's the only way that you're going to keep the harmony within this mindset that you're in now. Don't feel as if you have to always be on top of constantly not changing who you are, but working at changing who you are for the better. Because there are days where you already are who you are. It's not that you were never fully who you were just afraid to step out into the world as who you are. You held back from saying certain things, or you were in situations, and I say put yourself in situations, that's what I initially went to say. Because we put ourselves in situations depending on what the concept is. Okay, well, I need this job for the money. I need this job for the benefits. I need whatever. I need. This cycle that has just completed for you, you're not going to be in a position of needing that word. And that's why I hate saying that word. You never need really anything other than yourself, your wholeness, your connection. You don't need anything materialistic. You don't need anyone to benefit for who you are. But it definitely helps by being connected with your faith, with your higher powers, spirit, ancestors. You are very different than anyone else in your current family, because this journey was meant for you, because you were the only one that was going to be able to break the cycle. Yeah, look, you're held very highly by your spirit team and your ancestors and the higher powers. And they know that you have struggled for quite some time. And they also know that you can do this. And I know that that's so annoying to hear that. You're like, well, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do anymore. And they say that phrase of, God gives his strongest warriors what's that saying? I can't remember the saying, but I think you know where I'm going with that. And as annoying as that can be, it's because you were able to get yourself where you are today. And you were the only one out of your whole family to be able to do this, to break this cycle. Yep, look, what did I just say? Ancient memory. So this overwhelming feeling of having to be on it all the time, your spirit team is letting you know, don't feel that way. You have always been yourself, and you have always been true to yourself. You were just put in situations where you felt like you couldn't allow yourself to come out. Whether it be you wanted to say something, you wanted to react to something, you wanted to dress a certain way, you wanted to present yourself a certain way. It's okay. They're saying it's okay. They don't want you to now carry this burden of, oh my God, I haven't been myself in 5 years, 6 years, whatever it may be. It's okay. The reason you weren't is because you really didn't have a choice in that moment, because you weren't aware of the healing that you needed to do. You weren't aware of that healing and what it could do for you, that it was going to open up all these other doors and opportunities for you. It took those sacrifices to put you in a position of realizing, wow, I am who I am, and I love who I am. And you're getting to that point now. I feel it kind of back and forth a little bit with the whole loving yourself and then sometimes being your worst critic. You don't need to do that to yourself. You are your worst critic. You are the only one who looks upon yourself the way that you do, and you hold yourself at a very high standard, And they're saying that's a good thing that you do that. That's why you were chosen to break this cycle, because they knew that you always know in the back of your mind, I can do better. I can bring better. Anything better, plain and simple, better. That's what I keep saying in big capital letters, better. Your purpose to break that cycle, like I said. Today is heavy because now you're aware of how much time has gone by that you weren't fully bringing your full self to the table. And that's okay. They want you to, just as much as you have grace and forgiveness towards others, and you're able to do that for others, it's very, very important that you do that for yourself at this time. Breakthrough. That is your breakthrough. Being able to forgive yourself. Look, trust. Trust within yourself. Trust within higher spirit. Trust within your spirit guides. Because you have kind of sat back and allowed spirit and faith and all of that to kind of steer the way, and you're just going with it. You're not going with the motions. You're trusting them to guide you. For once in a very long time in your life, you're finally taking the back seat. You're still living your life. You're still doing what you're doing, but you have more trust and more faith in the steps that you're taking and in the way that you feel. Your body is going to speak to you, and that's one of the ways that you know how to make decisions. Trust your intuition, because your intuition is being driven by your spirit team and allowing them to guide you through these things. And it's sad. It does come off very sad, like you're almost disappointed within yourself. But look what I said, stillness. It's okay to feel heavy by this. It's okay to allow it to affect you in a sense of you are aware that it upsets you. But that is going to be your protection, your strength, to be able to overcome that thought in your mind and the way that you see yourself. That is your strength. And within the stillness, you are going to be able to show yourself gratitude. Be thankful who you are and what you are, because you are meant to be exactly where you are and what you are right now. It is a very odd day. 3 different times today my ears were ringing. Head feels a little foggy. And I think it's just I'm being shown by Spirit that for the collective of who this is for, it's okay just to let the thought process come through. But you're learning how to take things and look at things differently as they come to you. So don't hold so much of that pain and disappointment upon yourself, because you were on a journey. You were learning how to overcome this. And in order to learn how to overcome that, you had to go through it. Foresight. You have to be able to see how it's going to affect you before you really know how it's going to affect you, to know how to react to it. So it's like you had to go through this to realize how it affected you, to know how to change the way it affects you. And right now, it's, for the most part, the way you're handling it within your own, like you're looking back thinking, So many things I could have handled so differently if I just stood within my power, if I just had the mindset that I have today. And yes, you are 100% right. And they're like shaking their head like, well, yeah, but you would not have known how to like change how those emotions affect you if you didn't go through it. Conduit. You have a very strong energy. You have a very positive mind thinking. You're just a very glowing type person. Everywhere you go, random people try to make conversation with you. Whether you're in the grocery store, the doctor's office, you run into the gas station, somebody always tries to spark a little conversation with you. And it could be as simple as, oh my God, that guy, did you hear him complaining? Like they just try to start communication with you. Why? Because all this growth that you have done, it's just making your light shine even brighter. So it's like they can't even help themselves. They have to make some sort of communication with you because they're being drawn to you. And sometimes that can be annoying because you don't want to be bothered, because I feel as if this is for somebody who's kind of reserved. You don't really, you're not one for the attention when you go places, but they can't help themselves. But it's because of all the growth that you've done. So don't take this as, I should have done this, I should have done that, I wish I could go back. Please don't ever wish to go back. They're saying the past is the past and you need to remind yourself of that. There is no reason to ever, look, what did I just say? Do not go back to the past. What had already been done, however you handled the situation, you could sit there all day and think of all different kinds of reasons or things you could have said differently in that situation. It's irrelevant at this point. So don't take it as a failure or that you didn't handle it properly. In that moment, you handled it exactly how you felt at that time, being who you were. Now, because like I said, the cycle keeps going, always the same situation, but, or did I say that backwards? Same style of whatever the situation is, but just in a different form. Now with this new mindset, just forgive yourself. Because the next time something similar to that situation comes up, oh, look what I just said. You're going to know how to take action upon it. Because now you're aware of it. Now you're awakened to who you are now and how you handle things and what you're willing to tolerate and what you are not willing to tolerate. And that's a huge growth for you, because you are somebody who has tolerated a lot of nonsense from a lot of people, and it's almost in a sense coming off as some form of abuse. And I really don't like that word, but I mean in a sense of taking you for granted, not ever seeing you for who you really are or acknowledging who you really are, and almost taking advantage of that because they figured you're never going to say anything, you're never going to do anything about it, you're never going to change the way it is, so they could just keep doing what they're doing. This is a totally different situation now. That's not going to happen. And you know this, but now it's going to take everybody around you to learn this new you now. And this time, you're not going to look back at these situations and think, I should have handled it differently. Now, you're going to be 100% satisfied with how it was handled because you have no regrets. There's no reason to look back. There's no reason to be sad. It's just so heavy. It really is. Like, just please don't. And they're like begging you, like, you've come so far. You have come so far with your endeavors and your healing work, and you still have, we always have healing work. It never stops. So if anybody thinks, oh, I did all this healing and now I have reached the top. No, We're always healing because there is always change. There is always time that goes by. There are always situations that affect the change. And if you're not changing with the times, then you're stagnant. If you're not learning from these situations, then you're stagnant. But you're not that person anymore. You used to be. You used to be. And this is like, I'm hearing like in your teenage phases. You were a very vulnerable person and not naive in like you're the bad one, but naive in a sense of you could read people's energies, but you didn't listen to your intuition. So you wound up in a lot of different situations where you were hurt or disappointed. So to sit now and look at yourself and be disappointed that you didn't handle it a certain way, you're just going backwards again. And they don't want you to do that because of all this growth you've done already. They don't want you going backwards. And that's why this is coming out. Rebirth. You have legitimately rebirthed yourself into this life with a different mindset. And this is another part of your healing work. And this is great because I like to focus on the healing. It took me many years of different types of situations and different types of healings to get me to a place that I am at today. And I am very thankful for that. I'm thankful for the guidance I received. I'm also thankful to myself because I was the one that had to do the work to get it to be where it's at. And I have a ton of more things to learn when it comes to healing, but this is why I'm constantly drawn to these types of readings, the type of you guys, of collective, of healing, because as a collective, there's a lot of us that are trying to heal from a lot of different things. And to see that it's actually happening and working is great. It's awesome to see this. I love this. Let's switch cards for a little bit. Let's use these guys. So that song, Take Me in Your Arms, it kind of, the reason it's, how do I want to say this? I kept asking why am I being drawn to songs from back, from the 80s? And I think it's representing what I'm feeling from, look, without me even shuffling, truth, which was, let me continue what I was saying. It's representing from not necessarily as a child, but once you hit your teens and your era and what you grew up with, that's when that started, where you didn't really know who you were and you were learning who you were. And those are the situations from then up until the last couple of years that you were put through, that now you're putting this upon yourself and feeling like you should have known better. You really weren't gonna know any better because you didn't know who you were yet. And that's part of growth. We're supposed to learn as we go. So they're saying, please don't regret anything. Yes, there are situations that, of course, we wish didn't happen, especially if they're very detrimental to your mental health. But don't regret handling it a certain way because you handled it the best way you knew how at that time, being who you were. So there is no reason to feel as if you failed yourself. That's the second time I saw this card. I purposely do this. I ignore it the first time to see if it comes out. There's no need to feel any bit of uncomfortableness or like I should have done this, should have done that. You handled it the best way that you knew then. Now, if something similar like that happens to you, you're ready. You're ready to take it head on because you've learned so much within yourself. And that's, oh, cards like popping out. 8 of Cups. This is beautiful, really. It really is. But don't doubt yourself. With all the work that you've done, there is no reason to doubt yourself at this point, because when you speak nothing but the truth. Even if it's something somebody doesn't want to hear. You're not a liar. You're not a fibber. You don't sugarcoat things. That's not who you are. And you know that now. So now you say what you want to say without feeling some, you know, oh, I might affect this situation if I say this. No, because you're comfortable now with who you are. And that's, look, see? 9 of Wands. Putting the past behind you. There's no reason to doubt yourself or look at things that had happened in the past at all. And plus, you're living in the now. And in order to live in the now, you have to be in the now. So you got to make sure you're focusing on the now. And you've been doing a really good job at that. That one tried to flip over. And then that one flipped over. So we don't want to go backwards. Definitely not. Look, King of Cups. You might be in a position where some people are now, well, not you might be. You are in a position now where people are looking at you very differently. And that's okay. Because they're also learning who you are now. And as long as they are accepting of you and embracing who you are, then that's okay. But with that card comes that warning of just be prepared that there are going to be people that were, you know, part of you that now no longer accept who you are now, and it's because you've healed. For some reason, your presence was fun to be around when they knew that you were not doing so well. And it's sad to say, but that's what I'm getting off of that King of Cups. And then you have the 3 of Pentacles. Showing past, present, and your future. You are not the same person you were, and that's okay. And that's a good thing, especially if you were taken advantage of, which for this collective, you definitely were taken advantage of in multiple different things. You are just a very giving person, and a lot of people just, they didn't appreciate it. They didn't appreciate it at all. Not at all. Oh, look. Split it and look what's there. But you're here now. So don't put so much weight upon your shoulders over the past. You've come a long way. There's no reason for you to dwell or waste your time on any of that. And once you're able to release that feeling, I feel communication will get better for you, because I was having a hard time communicating as I was trying to get that message out. So let the words flow. But I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. Peace. Love you.